Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen goes live. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so let's get into it. Now listen to this. So a 15-year-old TikToker by the name of Ava Majuri was selling $300 selfies on TikTok. When she was selling them, little did she know that the person she was selling them to was actually a whole stalker, okay, who then tried to kill her. Right. Now, even though this has all happened, Ava's still going to be on TikTok selling her videos or selling her photos or whatever, her selfies, right? Because she's making anywhere from $300 to $1,700 by doing so. And her parents are allowing her to do this, even though she's a 15-year-old minor. I'm just saying. Lots of predators on the internet, and there's no way I would allow my minor child to be selling their photos to some freak. That's clearly what the person is, right? I'm just saying. So Ava Majuri, 15 years old, said that Eric Rohan Justin paid her $300 for 2 selfies months before he came to her house and was shot dead by her father. So the police said that Justin came to the Majuri family's home last July with a shotgun and 2 cell phones containing hundreds of pictures of Ava. Now, Ava's father, Rob Majuri, 51 years old, shot Justin dead at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, according to police. And this was after Justin showed up, kicked open their door, blasted open the door with a gun. And Justin was 18 years old. Now, he had allegedly been stalking and obsessing over Ava for months on the TikTok app. And he was under the username Eric Justin 111. Now, he was on TikTok stalking and harassing her or whatever, stalking. Until then, he actually went on all the other social media platforms, sending her numerous, messages and even trying to contact her friends to find out things about her, as well as to buy pictures from them as well. So now Ava's parents allowed her to sell selfies of only her face to Justin, who paid $300 on Venmo before reportedly asking for explicit photos of her body. I'm just saying that should have been common sense. What did the parents expect him to do next? Any freak that's offering to pay $300 for photos of your face, yeah, they're likely going to escalate things and try to take it up a notch once they see that you're falling for that or that you're willing to sell, the pictures of your face. And the thing is, this child is 15 years old. He was an adult. He was 18. And the parents allowed this to go on. I'm sorry, it sounds to me like they were pimping out their daughter. That's just what it sounds like. And the fact that they're going to allow her to continue to do this after she was stalked and almost killed. So pay attention to the nefariousness of it all. I mean, anything for a buck for some people, right? So the request prompted Rob, the father, to intervene and text Justin to request that he stop reaching out to Ava, who then blocked him on all of her accounts, saying that it was just pictures of my face, which is what I assumed he was paying for. It's what Ava said. Now, she says, my whole thing is my pretty smile. That's my content. Now, mind you, the family was actually interviewed on Good Morning America. Now, I'm not going to show that video because I don't need any copyright issues. Now, they say unable to contact the girl. Ava's family said that Justin proceeded to buy photos and personal information from her peers. Now, in the interview that they did on Good Morning America, Ava said that, basically when she found out that he was offering to pay her peers money for information and pictures and things like that, she contacted the stalker and told him that anything he wants, as far as the pictures are concerned or whatever, to please stop reaching out to her friends and just come to her, come straight to her, get everything from her. Well, Ava was trying to make her cash. I mean, she didn't want him going behind her back, trying to pay her friends for information and photos when clearly he could just pay her for it. So that's what it was all about, honey, all about money. So then they go on to say that he even told one of Ava's classmates of plans that he had to harm her. And this is after he found out what her address was. Okay, now Ava brought the threats to her family's attention, but they didn't see them as credible. Rob, her father, who's a former police lieutenant, said that he didn't think Justin would come all the way from his home in Maryland to enact his diabolical plan. I'm sorry, you're going to tell me that a police officer, a former police lieutenant, didn't think that the stalker would get in his car and drive from Maryland to Florida because of the distance. Let me tell you something. I don't know what kind of police officer, especially a lieutenant, a former lieutenant, would not think that that made sense, that he wouldn't try it. Of course he would. Stalkers will do anything and everything to get in touch with their victims, especially when they want to harm them. That's what they will absolutely do. Now, let's not forget about that woman, the astronaut years ago, who wanted to go and stalk, who was stalking this woman. They were messing around with the same guy, and she wanted to harass this woman, wanted to hurt her or whatever. And she put on a whole Depends undergarment. Remember that? She wore a diaper, literally, and then got gas cans and filled them with gas and put them in her vehicle, and then proceeded to drive on that long distance ride, right, to bother this woman, to harass and harm her. Y'all remember that? But her father, who's a former police lieutenant, didn't think that the stalker, who was paying for pictures and even going behind her back to her friends and trying to gather insight about her, and who clearly had her address and told one of the friends he was going to hurt her. I want y'all to pay attention to how stupid of an adult you'd have to be, how gullible and insidiously obtuse you'd have to be as an adult to not think that he was going to do something dangerous, that he was in fact going to do just what he said. Like, this is not rational behavior. This is the behavior of a psychopath. So why would the father think that he was not going to follow through with his diabolical plan? You know what I think? I think the father did think that there's a likely possibility, a likelihood that he would come and try to do something dangerous, but they don't want to give up that cash. Now, this is my opinion. I can't substantiate this, but I think they don't want to give up the cash. I think they didn't want her to stop selling her pictures and stuff on her social media platforms, because she actually has 3 TikTok accounts catering to different types of people. And she makes at least $1,700 on these said accounts from selling selfies. So it sounds like her father is pimping her out. That's just what it sounds like to me. Okay. So anyway, they go on to say that when Justin showed up at the Florida house in the middle of the night and shot open the door, Ava, her mother, and 2 brothers ran into a bedroom while Rob grabbed his gun and went to the front of the home. Now, Rob said he shot Justin after he would not put down his shotgun. Honey, I wouldn't have given him a chance to put it down, okay? You shoot open my door. You blast open my door. There's no questions to be asked. There's nothing to be discussed. Now, I'm clearly in fear for my life and my family. So he says he gave him a chance to put down the shotgun. I wonder, when he was a police lieutenant, Rob, that is, Rob Missouri, I wonder how many times he allowed a black person to put down their weapon before he fired at them, or how many times he shot or brutalized an unarmed black person. I'm just curious. I ask these questions because I want you to pay attention. There's really such a contrast in the way they interact with black people than their own. But let me continue. So Rob said he shot Justin after he would not put down his shotgun. The teenager, who has never been pictured, died later in the hospital from his injuries. There's another thing. Why hasn't he been pictured? He's 18. He's an adult. They can't say it's because he's a minor. Why aren't they showing this nefarious stalker, would-be killer that showed up at these people's homes? I'm just curious. You see how they stay on code? You see how they stay on code, right? That's why they're not showing his picture. But anyway, I digress. So he died from his injuries at the hospital. Now, the father says, I had to do what I had to do to protect my family, and I made sure of it. Well, one of the things he could do to protect his family is stop allowing his 15-year-old minor daughter to sell photographs of herself on social media to freaks and perverts and pedophiles. I'm just saying. Ava has amassed over 1.2 million followers on TikTok since joining in 2020, and she plans on continuing to build her account with her family's permission. Now, they say, her father says, her creations, her contacts, her videos became such a big part of her that to take it away would have been hard. That's his excuse for continuing to let her do this. Pay attention. Now, Ava has 3 separate accounts on the popular app, catering to a different audience, each different audiences. She says, I have 3 accounts. So I could have one brand come to me and be like, oh, I'll do $1,000 for one video on your main account. And I'll be like, oh, great. I have 2 other accounts that are different types of people on there. So altogether, I'm making $1,700 off just my name, she says. because I opened up 3 accounts rather than just building off of one. Now, despite threats and fears of stalking that continue because of some obsessed followers, the family remains hopeful and focused on the benefits that the platform brings. They said, we know that there are going to be 2 sides. Some people won't understand. That's what Ava's mother, Kim, said. Why should we allow them to stop her? Maybe she's meant to bring awareness to this. So that's how they try to explain their way out of the nefariousness of it all. That's the way they try to justify their actions, by allowing their minor daughter to be pimped out on social media just to make a buck. And at the end of the day, even after she was stalked and nearly killed, well, they still allow her to do this. And they say, why would we allow them to stop her? Maybe she was meant to bring awareness to this. So she was meant to bring awareness to this. That's the reason they're going with. At the end of the day, even though awareness has been brought to it, of course, this isn't the first time. I mean, it's not like this is something that they just discovered was happening. This has happened for years online, on social media, numerous different platforms, people stalking and all types of things. But so she didn't bring awareness to it because there was already awareness to it. What they should have done was paid attention to the fact that these things go on and not allowed her to be out here selling pictures of herself. And she's a whole minor. I'm just saying. But so nevertheless, I guess it makes them feel better to act as though she's bringing awareness to it. But if she did bring awareness to it, the question now becomes, now that we've all been made aware because this has happened to her, why are they still going to allow her to do the same thing when she has stalkers? And that wasn't the only stalker. She clearly has more. Okay, pay attention. They said despite threats and fears of stalking that continue because of obsessed followers. So she still has active stalkers, but yet they allow her to persist. So anyway, Rob Marjorie will reportedly not face any charges for the shooting under the state's Stand Your Ground law. The shooting investigation is said to be ongoing. So I'm going to share my screen and show you some pictures of Ava, the young lady. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live. Thank you in advance. So that's a picture of her with her mom and dad, I guess. The Marjorie family, what led to an alleged stalker showing up at their door. Yeah, that's them. That's when they were interviewed on Good Morning America. This is a picture of Ava, one of her selfies. And then we have a picture of the police as they showed up to their home in Florida after the father killed the stalker. And that's a picture of her and her father. So anyway, like I said, honey, it's not my choice to make, but I would not have a 15-year-old, male or female, selling photos of themselves online, because I would be thinking, first of all, anyone who's trying to pay $300 for photos of a minor clearly has to have some kind of perversion or sickness, right? So anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And I will talk to you all again soon.